Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Time Machine. I'm Harper, and today you need to get yourselves prepared for some secrets revealed, astonishing new insights, never before seen techniques, and tons of more assorted hyperbole hogwash as we tackle the big question of how to draw better. The short answer: draw for 60 minutes a day for 30 days in a row. Draw more, get better. Most of the drawings that I did for this challenge were done in 60 to 90 minutes, depending on how much time I had that day, but blah, 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 blah. Let's get the party started with day 16. This drawing is a scary tale of traveling to the edge of the world and beyond. Especially scary, I would imagine, if you're a flat earther. I'm using the same community college art class syllabus swipe that was used in the last video. I tore a couple more pages out of that cruise ship catalog to turn into yet another amazing sketchbook masterpiece. Wow, it's going to be great. Now, I don't know about you, but when I see Viking ships, the first thing that comes to mind is Amon Amarth. Odin, guide our ships, won't you please? And the second thing that comes to mind are dragons. Yeah, this dragon is in the water, so technically it's more like a sea serpent, but hey, they're cousins in the same imaginary family. Starting with a photo is a good exercise because you're not staring at a blank page, and you can use the image to kickstart your imagination engine. That sounded cheesy? Let's move on. I started by just drawing the basic shape of the beast with acrylics, laying each color on top of each other. Again, I mixed the acrylic paint with some white gesso to give it a matte finish so I could draw on top of it with a black colored pencil. And then to finish it up and score a couple points with the cartography nerds out there, I added the Latin phrase which means, "Here be dragons." Medieval map makers would use this phrase along with illustrations of dragons, sea serpents, or other monsters to show uncharted territory where potential dangers were thought to exist. Yeah. Oh hey, it's day 17. I wonder what's in store. Well, what do you know? It's another monster. But in my defense, this was drawn on the first day of October, and spoilers, there's going to be even more monsters coming up. Hooray! This is another example of those shape and silhouette exercises. They're great practice for improving the readability of your drawings. Especially awesome for making comics when you've got a ton of stuff and you got to cram it all into one little panel. Yeah, this is going to help out a lot. Start by making the entire shape with a watercolor wash without doing any underdrawing first. This will really help you to think about the shape as a whole, and you'll create stronger silhouettes, and thus, yes, thus, better drawings. Then, add a simple line drawing on top with a colored pencil to finish the image. This little dude is a mashup of a pig-nosed Eddie Munster and a Snakeosaurus vampire. Yeah, I just made that up. Snakeosaurus. Gotta admit though, that would be a pretty sweet dinosaur. Anyway, he's just a kid, so don't bully him about how he looks. Because behind those sad, misunderstood eyes, he's just a boy who's really proud of his pumpkin. Yep, I agree. That sounded weird. So let's head on over to day 18. The image I had in mind for this one was simple. A lady in her palatial house with some huge and very expensive paintings behind her. And rumor has it that this is only a tiny part of her art collection. All told, believed to be worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $2.6 billion. After drawing the sophisticated and shrewd lady of the house, the story for this image popped into my head, and I added her word balloons to let the viewers know just what's up. Suffice it to say, she suffers no fools. I started with a standard number 2 pencil to draw the whole thing out, and then I inked it with a Staedtler brand pigment liner, which is a really fancy name for what I like to call a pen. And then for the paintings, I used another super secret Art Class 101 technique, removable tape. That way I could get sloppy when I was making the wall art images and wouldn't need to worry about keeping it between the lines. First, I brushed on a base layer with some watercolor and then went over the top of that with acrylics, using what I believe to be its inaugural appearance in this series, my old friend, the palette knife. It's a super cool tool because it'll make a bunch of new and different marks that'll help improve the variety of your work. Of all the tools in this series, you really should try this one. I love it. The other cool thing about using tape is that you get the added drama of peeling it off for the big reveal. Hoping, of course, it doesn't tear your paper to shreds, making you cry and ruining your day. Next, I painted in the frames and then added some finishing touches with colored pencil. Boy, I sure would like to see the rest of this lady's art collection, but I don't think I'd like to have dinner with her because she seems like she would be a total B word, and that B word is butt face. The good news is we can move on to day 19. The bad news is I lost the video footage for this drawing. Yep, I was deleting a bunch of stuff off my phone so I could shoot another video, and I accidentally dumped the rest of the movie clips for this one. That's okay though, it's kind of boring anyway, so instead, let's clip some coupons for day 20. I started by shredding the newspaper announcements for Walmart's Sweet Sweet Deals, and those frosted flakes looked really good. Then I glued the pieces down with my new collage friend, Mod Podge. I used the matte finish version, so there's no shiny shine. The paper background gave me some bright colors and an interesting texture to work with. Using some white gesso, I blocked in the main shape of a supernatural rock star, the lead singer for a band that I just made up, Kolchak, the Night Rocker. Yeah, that's kind of lame, but I really wanted to fit Kolchak into this video. Oh, wait. Actually, I just thought of a better band name. Tony, Orlando, and Crom. Shut the front door. I wanted the line work to have an irregular, scratchy quality, so I clipped a cheap brush into a weird shape with my scissors before dipping down into the darkness of some speedball ink. Modifying your existing tools or trying new ones is a great way to get some interesting new effects that you can use on future projects. I knew the lyrics to this super sappy song would be a perfect, jarring juxtaposition with the all-out scream-style metal that this dude is belting out. I think Tony, Orlando, and Dawn would be happy to know that their sentimental favorite is still alive and well on the YouTubes. Next, I sprayed some ink from a toothbrush to look like it's shooting out of his mouth to create motion and action and sell the fact that there are fast and loud words flying out of there. Then I added a little color with a few thin acrylic washes and filled in those gnashing teeth with some white gesso. And finally, I scribbled some more colored pencil here and there to boost the definition in the face. Can we all agree that it's time for day 21? Boy, I tell you what, I'd sure like to see day 21. Do you remember way back, like a few minutes ago, when I said that there were going to be more monsters and more watercolor shape-based silhouette drawings? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the time is now. We have arrived. Unfortunately, so have the zombies. These undead, brain-eating sacks of flesh are from George Romero's classic 1968 movie, Night of the Living Dead. Actually, that's a lie. Or maybe more like a half-truth. Would you believe complete serendipity? Let me explain. I was in the middle of making this image and happened to be taking a stroll down music memory lane. I was listening to White Zombie's record, Los Exorcisto Devil Music Volume 1 from 1992. I really need Casey Kasem to say this part. I hadn't heard that record in quite some time, but for some reason, it called out to me that day.
Absolutely the worst Casey Kasem I've ever heard.
And when the movie sample of the newscaster making the announcements that there were zombies eating people came on, I had to write the whole quote on the page because really, what's more zombie-ish than that? I thought this one turned out pretty cool. I especially like the string of slobber goo from her mouth to the piece of whatever that is in her hand. And here's a parting amateur tip. Whenever you draw zombies, you gotta draw flies buzzing around their heads. But try not to think about the eggs that they'll lay and the maggots that will soon be crawling. For day 22, we're going to switch from zombies to a Robert E. Howard style warrior queen, a badass lady with a big ass sword. Now for this one, it might seem like I got lazy and just didn't want to ink it, but I say to you, nay, that's not true. I like the raw look of a pencil drawing with some simple shading, and in this case, I used Payne's Gray watercolor and just a tiny bit of red. First of all, let me freely admit that I did not come up with the smart and snappy words that she's saying. I saw this quote somewhere online, but I can't remember where, so I can't credit the person who came up with it. And I feel bad about it, but just not bad enough not to use it in this video. What a plagiarizing jerk! I had some problems deciding on the pose early on, but I finally got it figured out. Her eyes look like they're too far apart, but what are you gonna do? I like the rough and unpolished look of this drawing, especially the skulls. They're mostly just general suggestions of the shapes, not even finished, but they convey enough information so that you can tell what they are right away. Just another cool example of the brutal style. Whoa, stop doing that, damn it. Cue the closing soundtrack of Conan the Barbarian, and I'm out. I think you'll agree that it's easy to see that in just 60 minutes a day, you too can improve your drawing and painting skills by taking this 30-day drawing challenge. So please do. And most importantly, be here next week to watch the final video in this 4-part How to Draw Better series. Until then, if you want even more hot sketchbook action, cool stories about art and life, and dad jokes, check out these rad videos right here. And if you thought this video was better than an ingrown nose hair, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications by clicking that bell icon so you'll never miss another sketchbook video right here on the Time Machine. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.